All right, what's up, guys? This is Dan with the Bullish Bears team. Going to do a midday recap for you guys on the action today. Big one from the trade room today was NOVN. Kind of want to start with this one. I'm going to cover some of our trade alerts towards the end of the stream, but I wanted to start with NOVN. We'll also take a look at PI and SPY. SPY was another good one today. So NOVN, this actually hit the trade ideas scanner late this morning. I call it late this morning. We look for typically action between 9:30 and 10:30. And then around 11 o'clock,
Trump says monitoring the situation.
we stop our live streaming, and we still have a couple different streamers throughout the day at different times doing things, but we look for the bulk of the action between really the bell and 10:30, 11. But this thing started, hitting around 10:30. We ended up in a nice kind of rising wedge. We identified 150. We were looking for this to potentially hit 150 before noon, and it got pretty close. The wedge unfortunately busted, and anybody that hadn't taken profit yet was taking profit through here. You could see all the stops being taken out. And then there was some really good consolidation around 130, right? $1.30, but then that failed. More stops. You could see the selling volume increase. And then it's been pretty much dead through the 1 o'clock hour, and then boom, right at 2. You can see the volume. We had this nice channel right here, and it's literally just waiting for the volume to come in at the right part in the channel. And you can see this is actually forming a pretty nice bull flag right now. All right, we got a really nice bull flag. We're using 150 as support, and I had these highlighted targets. So ultimate target, if this thing continues with this type of volume on NOVN, is well, you really got to watch 165. I did identify a trend line there that could be a problem. But this is acting as the magnet, this 194 area. And if you check out the 4-hour, you'll find some trend lines that could be causing problems. So it's really just looking at price action and where the trend changed, and for how long did it change, how important is it, and where are we at with regards to that. And look at all the volume today. I mean, if you go back and look on a daily volume chart, it's just it's an explosive amount of volume. So could be seeing another day of gains out of this. Here you go. Here come the bulls. I know guys are typing in the chat room right now about this particular stock. So we'll look at 165 to 170, and then anything in this 185 to 194 zone for end of day profit taking. So that's NOVN, really good one. We're recapping it from this morning, but it's running right now. So this is a hot one. Next one is PI. This is one of the best gainers of the day in terms of being an earnings play. PI is in a nice megaphone pattern. You can see that there was a price spike here, and now we're kind of pinned to it right here. It looks like this is going to melt up further. There's a GAN line that I'm actually watching this actually stay above. Actually, PI is actually above that GAN line. I drew this GAN line on a daily chart going from the top peak to the low, and you can see that we're crossing above this. So this is there's some good long-term momentum that we're escaping. You'll notice or resistance we're escaping. You'll notice this price level right here at 26.75. This is a major resistance line, and if you look at this daily candle, we're currently above 26.75. We really need price to close the day above 26.75 for PI's momentum to continue up. And eventually, this is the magnet for price. 35.40 is the 50% retracement level on PI that price is being drawn to. But again, really needs to close the day strong, close that near the high of day for that continuation. I could see this moving up to potentially 31 tomorrow, provided the extended hours goes well for it. There's not a sell-off. This thing can still back test 2675 again, but this is the range on it. Really 2675 up to about 31, maybe 3090. So PI is going to be on the watch list for tomorrow, definitely. Let's take a look at SPY, SPY. So we were looking at SPY to break out of its extended hours range. You can see it took the better part of the morning to do that. Once it finally did and the volume came in, you can see the volume came in right at about 10:55. The seller stepped up, took this down, and of course it hit a support level, angular support, also another angular support through here. And if you guys look at the 4-hour of SPY, you will notice that there is this long-term angular support, which is this kind of rising, very tight rising wedge that's been expanding and tightening. You have this one right here. So we essentially back tested this rising wedge and popped off of it. So this was a great buy zone. You got kind of that nice V bottom and then an inverse head and shoulders born out of it. And then it back tested, of course, this range around 293, and you got another dollar out of it essentially on SPY. So if you were trading SPY options or even SPY stock, what a great entry off the low a day when all the sellers got exhausted. Buyers came in to buy the dip, and voila, we're back at that all-time high range that we were fighting with before. 293.95 was the former all-time highs. Now we've got new all-time highs, 294.45, and we've got Fed meeting later this week, and we're still inside this rising wedge, so we could continue up. We could even break out of this rising wedge to the upside. That's a complete possibility. So markets are still bullish for now, as long as we stay in this rising wedge. And next, let's take a look at KO. So this is Coca-Cola. This is one of our watch list stocks. This is the alert level that we gave out last night. It actually opened above it, but then back tested it, and you can see Coca-Cola. Once it back tested our alert level, it's ran from then, and now you have this nice ascending pattern. There's actually a cup and handle right here. You've got kind of this nice ascending wedge, and as long as Coke closes the day at or near highs, you should get some bullish continuation out of it. It's kind of been a long-term recovery since February, and take a look at the daily chart. We're coming up against some daily resistance. Let me remove this trend line and make it more. There you go. Man, we are right up against. So we're in that kind of profit area, but this could be a very big daily breakout for Coca-Cola if we're able to close over this longer term angular resistance going back to November last year. So nice one from the watch list, or alerts, I should say. Now let's take a look at Travelers. This was another one on our trade alerts. Again, we give the alert levels to you guys the night before. Another one that came close to back testing the alert level, actually opened below yesterday's high a day. And we look at these alert levels. We like to leave them on our chart rather than just right-clicking and creating alert with Thinkorswim. I like to leave that alert level up, similar to kind of like how Black Box does. They'll show you the alert level, and it just kind of stays on the chart. So you kind of get that pivot point or support or resistance level that is key to watch. And we actually, saw it didn't come back down and back test this. It just kind of cleared yesterday's high a day. You got a back test of that here and then a run. So this was another good play if you're able to catch it on the dip. Right now we've got kind of a rising wedge scenario on Travelers. It's kind of in this tight rising wedge right now. So good play there. They don't always, sometimes we set the alert levels and they don't back test. Sometimes they open higher. There's another one I'm going to show you guys in a second. Lastly, that was kind of another similar circumstance. CVRS, here's one that back tested, actually dipped below, but then the volume came in. So this was the level we were watching for CRVS to run at 218. So opened above. Volume was still kind of light. So I personally don't like trading candles that are less than 50,000 shares, but our watch list a lot of times will have stocks that are a little bit thinner, move a little bit slower, but the price action's still good, and you can trade them. There's always one that's usually pretty wicked, but CVRS, right, opened up and actually dropped to the support level from yesterday. I just want to mark it out. And that's when the volume came in. So not a ton of volume, but pretty decent, right? Over 50,000 shares came in. Was really good. You could have got a nice scalp if you look at, especially when it broke over the opening range at 221. You could have taken profit at 233, and where the volume just, liquidity dried up. And it's been kind of, trading sideways and grinding lower ever since. And then it gets back below the low range and the alert level. So then you're, pretty much back to where your entry is. If you don't take profit, you need to look at certain things like, what kind of a pattern is forming. Is there, angular resistance up here? Okay, yeah, I see that. There's kind of a bit of a megaphone. Once this kind of hit this level, that's why you want to draw your support and resistance lines ahead of time. Try to look for issues, maybe on an hourly chart. You could see that there was this one candle that printed up here, and then you've got this hourly resistance line giving you a haircut. So it got above it briefly, but then closed back below. So kind of a bearish signal now. This didn't sustain a good daily breakout, so it was just a kind of a tight scalp, and you're in and out of something like this rather quickly. Trying to before the liquidity dries up. Last one for you guys from the alerts, OGRMF. So here's one that we liked. We were hoping that it was going to backtest the alert level. It didn't quite come all the way down. You had this nice red hammer, and then you got some pretty decent volume starting to come in after the hammer, signaling a decent uptrend, and hit a high a day of 766, traded sideways. VWAP was in here, 9 EMA was in here. Kind of kept pulling back. Once it failed, you guys will notice I don't really have a lot of moving averages because I'm just trying to show you guys patterns. But essentially, once we really failed this, there was a nice ascending here that failed. I didn't like that, and then you kind of ended up with this kind of downward megaphone pattern that was starting to emerge there. And then all the way back to the alert level, bounce. I mean, it's got a nice range on it to trade today, and now we're, hovering back near. You could see some decent volume came in here around 750. And if we look at some of the longer term, we were optimistic of this potentially hitting some higher levels. You could see majority of price was trading in these channels, right? And then we fell out of this channel, and then it went all the way back, and now it's attempting to get back inside this channel. A lot of times you'll see that with stocks. Every channel comes to an end at some point. After it does, it likes to retest the channel, and sometimes it'll do it multiple times. You had a retest here, failed. Another attempt to get back into this kind of rising wedge channel, and we'll see if it is able to, stay above 765, 780. This thing could resume its bullish trend and be back in the up channel. That's just kind of the hourly channel. You can also look at, daily peaks like this, kind of connect your peaks, and these trend lines act as magnets for price. So maybe the bulls are thinking this is going to get up to maybe 820, right? You got that daily channel up here. Let's see, 818, 820. So somewhere up in that range. So that's pretty much it, what I got for you guys. If you guys have any questions or want me to look at anything for you before I go? I see there's a bunch of you in the chat, which you guys are kind of quiet today. I'll wait a couple seconds. Let's go back while I'm waiting. Let's go back and see how NOVN is doing. So NOVN hit that high of 163. It looking a little weak now, actually. I don't know about this pattern now. It's still potentially penning. I'd really be careful of this below 165, 167. So we might get another run. You just got to watch for the volume trend. Right now the volume is kind of dropping off a little bit. You got that support at 150. 150 starts to fail, then this thing might be done for the day. But that's it for the recap, guys. I'm going to try to do these, if not daily, weekly for you guys, especially covering the trade alerts that we post. So just kind of review the charts, show you guys where we post the support and resistance levels for members night before, talk about the trade room, share some setups with you guys, and just in general, try to educate you guys on what we look at in the markets and why, and where we're looking to get in, get out, and yeah, time warp. I hear you. Where to start is you really want to start with just learning. Tons and tons and tons of practice. Paper trade with Thinkorswim. Open up a Thinkorswim paper trade account. Take our Thinkorswim tutorial, so you guys can go to our website and access. These are all of our free courses. Candlesticks, very important to learn candlesticks in advanced candlesticks. Get our ebook so you can study on your own time, right on your phone. Start recognizing those patterns. And then Thinkorswim course, so you guys can get your Thinkorswim set up and start paper trading. And it's a long educational road. It's different for every person, right? Some people are going to get this stuff right away. Other people, it's going to take a lot longer to get. It all depends on your lifestyle, your aptitude to learning trading. Some people are naturally inclined. You might even be forcing yourself to learn a style of trading that doesn't fit your personality or your lifestyle. So that's why we have, options, advanced options, and then, once you become a annual member of our community, you get access to our next level training library. So this is like all of our advanced stuff. You'll get our scanner settings, all these videos on day trading, the exact strategies we use. So it's kind of like the next level. So once you take the free courses, you kind of step up. You step up to learning options, how to day trade options, short-term debit spreads, vertical spreads, credit spreads. We teach you how to do all this stuff so you can come in and do it and practice. And then you can talk to us in the trade room and talk about trades you're taking. Got the advanced candlestick stuff. So this is going to be a section that's growing. More technicals, trend trading, buy and sell signals. It's a pretty deep library stuff. And then we've got futures training for you guys. So we got a little bit of everything. Something for everyone. 3 trade rooms. And we even do some coaching a little bit. One of our moderators does that. Scanners, we review all these different, we use all this stuff. We use Trade Ideas, we use TrendSpider, we use Black Box, we use Benzinga. These are tools that are in our toolkit. And then, of course, the blog and manager account here. So, yeah, time warp, exactly. Thinkorswim, start. Oh, ball is life. Hey, man, you're back on our stream. Cool. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that today was the worst trading day. Yeah, everything you need, time warp. We're not saying that, here's the thing. If you're new and just starting out, we're just one corner of the stock market world. We have everything covered, but your education should also be, reading, looking at YouTube, not just our channel. There's lots of smart people out. We're humble. You can learn from all, types of people, but we have different styles, something for everybody, and we kind of made it so you don't really have to go anywhere else to learn from. But I mean, again, you can try us free for 2 weeks as a monthly member, and then if you want to get access to the extra library and the streaming replays and all that good stuff, then you would step up to the annual membership and just pay for the full year and get the trade alerts and the full library, and you save 50% too over the deluxe monthly. But you can start your trial right here. So, ball is life. I hope that strangle works out. You can always do the trial and hop in and talk to us in the swing trade room, bounce your strangle charts off of us, and we can, everybody's got everybody's back in the trade room. It's really cool. We keep out all the trolls, the spammers, and the BS, and it's just real people trying to help real people master trading, and it's hard. So you need a diverse group of people, and we couldn't find it out there, so we created it, and we're really happy with it. So thanks for watching the stream, guys. I will be back tomorrow for another recap, and we'll see what's happening with this market. We'll talk about the trade alerts, and we'll try to find the next big setup in the market. So you guys have a great day. Stay green, and I'll see you on the other side.